the quiet corners of the world, the shadows hold stories that beg to be uncovered. Welcome to Silent Shadows, a place where mysteries thrive and suspense keeps you guessing. Each episode takes you deeper into the unknown, challenging you to find the clues hidden in plain sight. Let's begin this journey into the dark, where every silence speaks volumes.
The Future's Reckoning. A Mystery Story by Grave Pit Shadows. The night was heavy with rain as detectives Rachel Mills and James Davenport arrived at the scene. A man lay sprawled in a filthy alley, his lifeless eyes staring into the void. The note pinned to his chest was smeared but legible. The future is now. Mills knelt beside the body, her gloved hands steady despite the gruesome sight. "He's escalating," Mills muttered. "This is the second one this week." "Same MO, Davenport replied, scanning the scene. "But why these men?" The answer came with the victim's criminal record. Domestic violence, assault, and a string of other offenses. But the killer wasn't just punishing anyone. This was targeted justice. Someone out there was cleaning house, vigilante style. As Mills examined the area, she noticed strange symbols carved into the brick wall. "These weren't here before," she whispered, a chill creeping down her spine. Davenport leaned closer, his flashlight revealing a series of intricate marks resembling ancient runes. "What the hell is this?" he murmured. The second victim was found in his suburban home, his body sprawled across the kitchen floor. This time, the note was scrawled on the wall in the victim's blood. "The future is now." It was clear the killer wanted to send a message. As Mills and Davenport pored over the case files, a pattern emerged. Each victim had a history of abuse and violence. The detectives traced connections to a defunct counseling program that had been designed to rehabilitate abusive men. The program's failure left a trail of shattered lives, and it seemed someone was determined to avenge them. Davenport sighed as he flipped through a file. The system let these guys off easy. Maybe someone's just finishing what the courts couldn't. Mills shot him a sharp look. "We don't get to decide who lives or dies. Neither does he." Todd Williams Richardson smiled as he watched his next target. The man, a known child abuser, walked into a dive bar, oblivious to the shadow stalking him. Todd's methods were meticulous. He had spent months researching his targets, ensuring they deserved what was coming. The bar was dimly lit, reeking of stale beer and sweat. Todd blended in, his hood pulled low as he observed his prey. When the man stumbled out into the alley, Todd struck with precision. The knife glinted in the faint light, and the man's gasp was swallowed by the storm. When the body was discovered the next morning, Mills and Davenport were ready. The killer's note, the now infamous "The future is now," was scrawled on a bar napkin. But this time, there was a mistake. A smudged fingerprint. "We're getting closer," Davenport said, "but he's getting bolder." The detectives' investigation led them to the counseling program's records. One name stood out. Todd Williams Richardson. A survivor of a violently abusive household, Todd had been a participant in the program. Not as a perpetrator, but as a victim seeking closure. Flashbacks revealed Todd's transformation. His father's cruelty had forged his unrelenting sense of justice. Now, he was the judge, jury, and executioner for those who evaded the law's reach. Mills and Davenport tracked down one of Todd's former acquaintances from the program. The man, a recovering alcoholic, described Todd as intense and deeply troubled. He'd talk about justice like it was a religion, said the world needed cleansing. Todd's fourth victim was a prominent businessman with a well-hidden history of domestic abuse. This time, Todd left a video message. "For too long, you've hidden behind money and power. The future will not tolerate your kind." The public's reaction was divided. Some hailed Todd as a hero, while others condemned his methods. Mills and Davenport were under immense pressure to end the killings. Their breakthrough came when they identified Todd's car near the scene of the crime. But Todd had anticipated their move. As the detectives closed in, he left a decoy vehicle rigged with a disturbing surprise. A doll dressed as a judge, its eyes gouged out and the words "blind justice" painted across its chest. Surveillance footage confirmed Todd's identity. Mills and Davenport began unraveling his life, piecing together the motivations that drove him. They discovered Todd's journal, filled with detailed plans and chilling reflections on his mission. But as they closed in, Todd was already preparing for his next move. In his journal, Todd described his victims as anchors to the past, and himself as the wind that will carry humanity forward. The rhetoric was haunting, almost poetic. Mills felt a knot in her stomach as she read his words. "I will not stop until the future is free of their shadows." Todd's fifth and sixth victims were a defense attorney known for protecting abusers and a corrupt judge who dismissed domestic violence cases. Todd kidnapped the attorney and live-streamed his judgment. "You protect monsters," Todd declared to his audience. "The future demands accountability." Mills and Davenport tracked Todd to an abandoned warehouse. The confrontation was intense, but Todd escaped, leaving behind another message. This is only the beginning. As they searched the warehouse, they found unsettling remnants of Todd's planning. Photographs of potential targets, detailed notes, and a map with red pins marking his next moves. Todd's seventh victim was a high-profile enabler of abuse. This time, Todd planned to make his final act unforgettable. As Mills and Davenport closed in, they faced a moral dilemma. Was Todd completely wrong? Or was he exposing a broken system? The confrontation took place in a crowded city square. Todd had rigged a stage with screens showing footage of his victims' crimes. The crowd watched in horror as Todd called out his next target, a politician who had silenced abuse victims for years. The detectives cornered Todd in a hidden bunker, where he was preparing his ultimate broadcast. The room was filled with screens displaying his past victims and messages about justice. "You think you're the future?" Mills challenged him. "I am," Todd replied, "and you're fighting to preserve the past." The standoff ended with a gunshot, but when the smoke cleared, Todd was gone. His voice echoed from a hidden speaker. "The future is still coming." Mills and Davenport scanned the area, their adrenaline still surging. The faint hum of machinery caught Mills' ear, and she followed the sound to a concealed hatch in the floor. Inside, she found a labyrinth of tunnels leading into the city's underbelly. On the walls were painted slogans, "The future cannot be stopped." Davenport joined her, his flashlight illuminating stacks of propaganda materials, flyers, videos, and encrypted devices. "He's building something bigger than himself," Davenport said grimly. Mills' voice trembled. "This isn't just one man. He started a movement." Weeks later, news reports surfaced of similar killings in neighboring cities. Each victim bore Todd's signature calling card, and witnesses described shadowy figures distributing pamphlets about the future. Mills sat at her desk, staring at a map riddled with pins. "If we don't stop this now, it's going to spread like wildfire," she said. Davenport nodded. "But how do you stop an idea?" Suddenly, a package arrived at the station addressed to Mills. Inside was a sleek black device with a screen. It powered on to reveal Todd's face, calm and composed. "I'm everywhere now, Detective," Todd's voice said, resonating with eerie confidence. "Even if you stop me, the future will rise." The message ended with coordinates flashing on the screen. Mills and Davenport exchanged a glance, their resolve hardening. They knew this was far from over, and the next chapter was waiting for them in the shadows.
Another tale has come to a close, but the shadows never rest. Thank you for exploring this mystery with us on Silent Shadows. If you enjoyed this episode, show your support by hitting like, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing for more gripping stories. What was your favorite clue? What theories did you have? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your wits sharp. The shadows have much more to reveal.